Hello friends and welcome back to this channel. My name is Patricia. I'm a UX UI designer, innovation designer focusing on XR and Web3 technologies. And here on YouTube I make videos about design, the future and future technologies. So we are actually right before an interesting evolution or maybe even revolution of the internet, how we know it. And maybe you've heard the term Metaverse already. I already did a video about this one. So it's all over the internet and it's all over social media. So let's dig a little bit deeper and understand what this means. So Zuckerberg defines the Metaverse as follows. The Metaverse is an embodied internet that you're inside, or rather than just looking at it, right? So you're right inside it. And with Internet 1.0, you were basically only able to consume content from screens. So we surfed websites, looked up content details, and when it came up, we might drop some chats, we were talking to people. In Web 2.0, it was all about social media, and this was like the mobile revolution. So here we move on centralized internet and social media platforms. So above all, when you think about like Facebook, Google, Amazon, etc., most of us use our cell phones on these platforms. So when we're looking at the internet, at the computer or mobile phone or screens. And now comes version 3.0, the Metaverse. So in doing so, we become part of the internet. We are part of the, we are part of the internet. And how can we imagine that in very concrete terms? Now let's take a very close look how this might look like. And I'm especially interested in how the Metaverse might feel like. Have you ever been in a flight simulator? As a kid, I was definitely a huge fan of flight simulators and 3D cinemas. I actually still am a big fan of it. And there, one of the coolest attractions for me was like the 3D flight simulators that allowed everyone to fly through the universe or the space. And you probably know this. You sit down in this really dark room and the seat moves. And you have like a really huge screen in front of you, and then you fly through the universe and have a feeling of like sitting in the spaceship and really flying through space and flying through time. And in a 3D cinema, you put on those like 3D glasses and immediately you feel like you're inside the movie. So this is like very magical, I feel. And for me, this is like the very first step in the direction of how we can envision the Metaverse. So with just like one big difference. So in the Metaverse, we are part of this digital world. So we don't get them in front of us and can only look at it. So like in a flight simulator or in 3D cinema. Instead, it's like a real world that emerges. So a real world where we can really live, where you can really interact, where, we really do business with each other, where things can really happen. So let's take a closer look at a few interesting examples for how this can look like in practice. So the Metaverse is a digital world controlled by us as real individuals. So it's shaped by us and it's lived by us, and we beam or teleport ourselves into a digital world. And I already said the very big and most prominent feature of the Metaverse is its decentralization. So in the Metaverse, no platform like Web 2.0, so no centralized Google, no centralized Facebook or Apple, etc., will happen there. So everything runs on a company's platform, with 2.0. Everything is completely decentralized. So each of us can create new worlds and spaces. So for example, every person can decide with their avatars in which world, in which room, in which environment, in which social interaction they want to engage in, also with which kind of brands. So thinking about data protection. In addition, they can choose which other people or avatars they want to meet. And this is a completely new and independent form of platforms. We're thinking about like the big tech companies now. So the whole thing can always take place peer-to-peer without anything or anyone, without an intermediary platform like Google or Apple or Facebook in between. So we could communicate, interact, and meet directly with each other in this metaverse. So if you're looking there. And this is where the next key topic comes into play, and this is the blockchain. So when you hear the term blockchain, you might think about like cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But blockchain is actually pretty revolutionary and interesting, because here people interact, communicate, and trade directly with each other without any bank, thinking about like cryptocurrencies, any intermediary, any state, any platform in between. So this gives us a huge opportunity to regain our authority over our data and also our finances. So this is pretty revolutionary. This means a completely different world overall. So there are no limits to the creativity, dynamics, and also the number of these metaverses. So there will be multiple. But in terms of social interactions, communication, economics, and e-commerce, etc., the world will be real and can be removed from the physical world as we know it. So both will really come together, like the physical and the digital world. So another interesting topic is that you probably will be able to make money in the metaverse, and this is how it will look like. So due to the decentralization design, it may even be possible for every single person, so for you and me, to earn money in the metaverse. So Facebook pixels or Google tracking are built into websites, and with it our online surfing behavior is tracked. So who makes money from it? Definitely not us, right? But the really big tech companies. So a blockchain-based decentralized service belongs to no company. So for example, you could agree to having your behavior tracked in the metaverse with the condition that each of us earns money from, advertisements that are displayed there. So everything is suddenly controlled peer-to-peer, decentrally. Each individual has, their own rights over their data and can, if they wish, or even benefit directly from it. So they can sell it, for example. So perhaps with these developments, we are currently, experiencing the greatest democratization in human history. At the same time, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and the metaverse naturally also have a high potential for disruption, not only in the direction of companies, but especially in the direction of the state, with all its classic institutions such as, thinking about banks and insurance companies, etc. So it will be very, very exciting for us to really see what will happen here in the next 10, 30, 50 years. So this development cannot really be stopped. So let's look at a few examples. And this is what it might look like in practice, right? So thinking about some images and some examples that might help to understand the whole process a little bit better. So when we think about our everyday life, right, traveling will be possible for everyone in the metaverse. Traveling is something that probably 95% of humanity on this planet these days cannot really do. Unbelievable, right? But consider the following possibility. You step into the metaverse and can suddenly see the Eiffel Tower. Inside, you can see it outside, everywhere. You can walk upstairs if you want. And that even when I'm in Australia or when I'm in Asia or when I'm in Germany. So this not only has the effect that you can suddenly travel around the world, it has also the huge advantage of really being much more resource efficient, environmentally friendly, right, and ecological. So more and more people on this planet will be able to visit other parts of the world. Walking with friends, the Champs-Élysées far away. Another really great use case and a really eye-opening for me. You can quickly make an appointment with friends who are far away. Maybe they are in Hamburg, maybe they are in New York, maybe they're in Berlin like me. No matter, you can just make an appointment in the metaverse and you can really meet there virtually, not with a screen on your face. And you can chat about everything, you can do everything that you want. You can spend quality time together, not just looking at the screen. And this is, I think, pretty interesting also for me. And in which room, in which world do you want to meet? You can decide that. So our avatars go for a work together. We beam ourselves digitally into this world, so to speak, and we really will have a really great time together. So we can experience live concert in the middle of everything, and imagine your favorite band is playing, and you can be there, like Coldplay last summer, for example. So concert in the metaverse is nothing new, right? So I already mentioned Coldplay last September. They did a concert at the BMW Metaverse called Joytopia, and a few weeks ago David Guetta did a concert in Roblox. Not just by watching a concert on a computer screen or using a mobile phone, but really live in 3D. So right in the middle, your avatar can dance, can enjoy the show, and you can meet others during the concert. You can really interact and live that. Another interesting topic is medicine. So, do you remember the last time you went to the doctor and needed to wait really long times in the waiting room? So, however, most, you probably already heard about telemedicine. So instead of full waiting rooms, a visit to the doctor may no longer be necessary because doctors and patients can meet in the metaverse and talk and interact with each other there. So in the metaverse, for example, many steps must be clarified before an interpretive operation can be conducted. Maybe even, investigation with devices that we haven't even suspected yet. And an important point, everything is more resource saving and sustainable. So let's talk about business. So we will take a look at what could be possible when it comes to business, when it comes to teamwork, when it comes to leadership. Team meetings today via Zoom, can take place in the metaverse as well, like meta rooms instead of meeting rooms. So COVID-19 pandemic has probably also given us a metaverse real boost, I would say. Suddenly so many people are working digitally via Zoom, Teams, etc. And of course, we also know about the disadvantages, I feel. You just don't really sit together at a table, and that's exactly what a meta space can solve. You sit down together at a table in the metaverse. It's almost as if you were, in a live meeting. And I'm pretty sure that there are so many advantages and possibilities, especially when it comes to work. That's just the thought of, integrating that into my daily life would be amazing. Not having those live meetings, but really in the metaverse. So customers could even be like guiding tours, like on independent locations. Customer meetings and employee meetings are no longer a problem, even if remote teams are spread all over the world. So you can just meet in the metaverse and you can work there, you can spend time together, you can get to know each other, you can guide them through your space, right? And show them around. So even thinking about production halls or any kind of other spaces that need to be included. So that's no problem anymore. So it will be very exciting to see how this will look technically. And how this will work, so how we will enter this world, how it will feel to hear. And I think what's pretty interesting here is that we are already having a lot of possibilities and solutions there. So I already did several meetings in the metaverse with clients, for example, with our VR glasses. Although I must say that because they're a little bit bulky, it's not really recommendable to spend more than 2 hours, in VR or in a digital space, because it's still bulky and it's not that nice. So what about education and school? So who says kids will still be, heading to buildings in 50 years? That a teacher really stands in front of the class and explains the world to the kids. Maybe they all meet in the metaverse or do directly the side of the action. So isn't there the possibility to choose the teacher and the courses and get all the content and the education that each specific person and kid really needs? So colleges and universities the same. Maybe cross-border real-time research, that you can do in the metaverse. Joint teaching and research are, possible across national and university borders and also in real time. For example, you could do research and work together in the metaverse lab. Pretty interesting. And another topic that I find so interesting is the whole topic around personalization. So you can really choose what kind of content you need, where you want to be, with whom you actually want to work together. So another field of huge potential and opportunities is definitely online training, further education, and really joint events. Then we have the topic around marketing. So an exciting playground, intellectually property, and the next generation metaverse world. So companies can create their own worlds and digital products. A lot of companies are already doing that, and then sell them. So the metaverse visitor can then interact with their characters and avatars. And a small example would be, instead of watching a cartoon on TV, you jump into a world and interact directly with Disney, for example, right? So with Elsa from Frozen. So the user can decide when and where he wants to interact with brands, which makes it incredibly interesting for designers, for people, and for everyone who really creates those experiences. So what about e-commerce? So digital goods are a huge topic and are making more and more headlines in, when it comes to NFTs especially. And here, blockchain-based digital artwork and trading cards from our favorite, like soccer players, for example, or any kind of digital good is like opening up a lot of interesting possibilities. And in order to move and reside in the metaverse, an avatar is necessary. So you need an avatar. So such a person wants to be dressed naturally. So he wants to be equipped. He wants to have certain things like shoes or clothes or any kind of material. So just like in the real world. And accordingly, there will also have to be any kind of possibilities for buying those digital goods for your avatar. So various digital goods in the digital world for your space, for your avatar, for yourself. And this is no longer a dream. Like young people in particular are willing to spend a lot of money on digital products, having a look at Fortnite. It may be difficult for us, a little bit older people, to really identify with these ideas and to think about it. But for younger people, it's already normal, right? So the metaverse opens up unimagined possibilities for teaching, for research, and for many other different topics. I'm wondering, is that still a dream of the future? No, actually not. It's already real, it's already there. So certainly many products will be developed in connection with the metaverse, and thinking of it, how this will look like, I don't exactly know, but who will have known 20 years ago what social media is or what a smartphone makes possible? It's crazy, right? So a decentrally organized metaverse can belong to all of humanity, to all of us, and we can be curious to see what will happen in the upcoming years, especially in the next 5 years, and thinking about the far future as well. So one thing is very certain, and this is that the new development stage of the internet, Web 3.0, certainly is very difficult for us to imagine at the moment, but only because it's a little bit far away and sounds very sci-fi, but it also has unimaginable possibilities for large populations of the world looking at screens almost continuously until 2022, and even carrying one around in your trousers or pocket. I'm doing that all the time, and it's difficult for us today to imagine a future in the metaverse, right? So what are your thoughts? I'm curious to hear what you're thinking. Otherwise, I would say see you in the metaverse, my friends, and feel free to share any comments and ideas in the comment section below. I'm going to link all resources there, so definitely have a look, and see you next time, my friends. Wish you a lovely day, and bye bye.